Hey Scorpios, this is Persephone and this is another video for the Hermit Tarot channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. A few things before we begin. This is a free general reading. If it resonates, go ahead and leave me a comment, subscribe, let me know what resonates, what doesn't. And Scorpios, I'm running a free contest where a subscriber who has commented will be picked and can win a free general reading from me, and it'll be, a free personal reading from me. And you would have to be subscribed to my channel and leave me a comment. Scorpios, I'm gonna go ahead and break down this reading. My first reading is going to be a 3-card pull where I'm talking about your past, present, and future, and it's going to be with this deck that I'm using here. Now, usually this deck likes to focus on stability, wealth, career, progression, and so forth. And then I will have a separate deck that talks about your romantic relationships. I'm going to break it down from singles to people that are married and dating and in between, okay? So if you're interested in only the love portion, I will go ahead and timestamp that. But if you're interested in the full reading, just go ahead and listen through the whole video. And don't forget again, Scorpio, to subscribe, share this video. A lot of you like to share, so I'm really appreciative of that. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, so let's talk about your general reading right now. We're gonna pick out 3 cards for the month of June. They're going to represent your past, present, and future. And then also, I will go ahead and do some clarifications just in case the message is a little murky and we're just not understanding what Spirit is trying to explain to us here. The 5 of Cups, Temperance, the Lovers. Scorpio, usually my deck likes to specify on, again, wealth, progression, career, but we jumped into your partnership. Scorpio, I see that you've been thinking about a past relationship that didn't leave a good taste in your mouth. When I say that, I'm saying that you guys are regretting. And remember, this can be a reversed energy. Maybe the person that you're thinking about, like your ex, whoever you just thought about right now, that's exactly who's thinking about you. And they're thinking about how regretful they are for treating you like trash, or it could be someone you hurt and they regret investing all that time and love and attention that they gave to you. Scorpio, I see that you're reminiscing, not necessarily reminiscing, that's the wrong word. Scorpio, you have been trying to push this memory and thought away. You have been trying to forget. You have been trying to move on. And you have. Because Scorpios, to be honest, I don't think I've ever met a single Scorpio. Meaning, like, Scorpios are usually always in between relationships. And it's not because they don't know how to be single. It's just that they always tend to have a lot of options. A lot of options. Scorpios, usually I leave you for last because your readings can get very complicated and very intertwined. But yeah, for Scorpios, I see that either you're reminiscing or you're regretful about what happened with your ex. To be honest, Scorpios, I don't even think this was an ex. This was somebody that you felt had potential. This was somebody that you were interested in, but unfortunately you didn't pull the trigger. You didn't pull the trigger. You decided that this person just wasn't a match for you, and now you're kind of crying like, shit. I wish I would have actually went through with this. I wonder what they're doing. I wonder if that person thinks about me. And that person does, and vice versa. If your ex has been wondering about you, this is actually someone that you do think about once in a while, you know, but the relationship was a little murky. The relationship was very unbalanced, meaning that one person loved more than the other. One person gave more than the other. And it wasn't because you or this person was trying to be selfish. It was more that you thought that you had this person on lock. You thought that this person, oh, this person loves me. They're not going anywhere. But unfortunately, they got tired of waiting for you, Scorpio. They got very tired of waiting. And vice versa. You were in a situation where you were tired of waiting for this person. You were tired of the promises. You were tired of like, when are we really gonna do this? When are we really committing to each other? When is this really going to pop off for us? But unfortunately, Scorpio, it never happened for you guys. Another thing that I'm picking up, Scorpio, it could be that you're coming out of a slumber. You're coming out of a situation where you were hurt, you regretted, and now you're getting a second chance at love. You're getting a second chance at partnership. You're getting a second chance with the person that you've been thinking about. And it's not like this person wouldn't want it. I definitely see that there's an engagement for some of you. I definitely see that. Scorpios, I'm gonna try to zoom into this because let me know what you think. Tell me this doesn't define Scorpio at its best. It does. I don't even need to say it, okay? You get it? Okay, good. Scorpio, I see that this summer is going to be hot and heavy for you. But the thing is, Scorpio, if you don't get your feelings in check, meaning if you don't express yourself to the person you really want, you're going to keep on having these empty relationships. You're going to keep on having these one-night stands. You're going to keep on having these short-term commitments with people that, yeah, you kind of sort of maybe like, but they're not doing it for you because you have your mind on something else. And then another thing that I'm getting is that some of you have been dealing with emotional issues with your parents, emotional issues with your mental stability, emotional issues with your location, your financial stability. And that's what's really causing the imbalance right now. But Scorpio, either way, you're coming into a place where you're going to be able to be vulnerable. You're going to partner up with someone. I see new love coming. I see it with a Gemini. It could be another water sign, Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. Let me just pull up a card. Yeah. Imbalance. I got the ladrón and imprisonment. You felt, or your fear was that you were going to lose your freedom, not because you enjoy to be a player. Even though Scorpios have the tendency of having this reputation that you guys are very sexual beings, you guys like to flirt a lot, you guys are not faithful, but that's not always true. Scorpios are the type of people that have very intense gazes, have very intense, how can I say, you guys know how to be intense without being physical, right? But people are so drawn to you that it's like, it's magnetic. Scorpios are very magnetic. But unfortunately, Scorpio, sometimes that makes you feel like, I'm not ready to do this. I'm not ready to be in something serious because they're not going to accept me. They're not going to trust me. I don't trust anyone. Scorpios usually don't trust anyone either. And a lot of you have to let that go. Because then if you continue to behave that way, Scorpio, you're going to always be the Five of Cups. Meaning you're always going to regret the person who got away, the cup that spilled, the friendship that broke, the relationship that broke. You need to get over that, Scorpio. You need to really find the balance between trusting yourself and trusting other people. Because believe it or not, Scorpio, a lot of people love you. Yeah, the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands. The Two of Wands talks about having a different perspective and looking outwardly, right? You're looking forward to something. You're looking forward to a change. You're looking forward to travel. You're looking forward to a new relationship. But remember again, Scorpio, how many times are you going to switch situations with partners and not realize that it might be you? It might be you, Scorpio. Scorpio, remember, a lot of things can be talked about with, like, this card can represent like fortune, riches, anything. No marriage right now, but you're gonna have like a different option. You're gonna have different options. Oh, and Scorpios, if you're this has been like a common theme with you guys. Scorpio, if you're looking or thinking about someone, you want to apologize to someone, or you've been interested in maybe asking someone out, finally, this is the time to do it, Scorpio. Because right now, the person that has you in mind, they think that you don't care. They think that you're not interested. They think that you're actually a narcissistic jerk. And you might be. You might be. But that doesn't mean the narcissistic jerk doesn't have feelings for someone. It doesn't mean that the narcissistic jerk doesn't know how to love someone. It doesn't mean that the narcissistic jerk enjoys going to sleep by himself. You know? Let's focus on single Scorpios. Single Scorpios. Single Scorpios. Single Scorpios. The Knight of Pentacles. The Lover's card again. And the Page of Swords. Let me zoom in so you can see these beautiful cards. So, Scorpio, you could be you can be dealing with an earth sign, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. It's heavy on the Capricorn, Virgo. You can also be dealing with a Gemini, and of course an air sign, which is Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. Let's talk about these cards separately. We're going to talk about your desire, fear, and best advice or outcome. The Knight of Pentacles is a card that represents arousal. The Knight of Pentacles talks about discontent, Your waiting allows the desired fruit to ripen, while if you force something to ripen, if you force something to go fast, Scorpio, you have the ability to mess it up, to make it bitter, to bite into something that wasn't ready. The Lover's card talks about your fears. Now, what does that mean for you? The Lover's card talks about seduction. Nature is a guide. Plants and animals are examples of what we should be imitating. And the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords talks about best advice and your outcome. The Page of Swords talks about fighting. Enemies of a couple are both inside and outside of it. They should look at each other. Vigilance does not distract from pleasure, and pleasure does not distract from vigilance. What does this all mean? Scorpio, remember I talked about you wanting to go back to an ex, or you wanting to apologize, or you actually being discontent or being unhappy about how things went down with you and someone? This is exactly what it is. You pulled the trigger and ended it before it even started, but now you're crying about it. How can you choose to be single, Scorpio, and then cry about being single? That doesn't make any sense to me. Scorpio, if you want somebody, say it, right? Because what happens here, Scorpio, is that when you rush something, you have a very... Now, this is a specific story. Scorpio, there was a earth sign that was very interested in you, and you were interested in them. But unfortunately, you had doubt. You had doubt because you wanted more options. You had doubt because you wasn't ready to give that player's single life up. Vice versa, maybe you were dealing with someone and they weren't ready to give that single life up. They weren't ready to commit to you fully. And unfortunately, that ended up making you two resent each other. And you both blame outside forces. But unfortunately, that is not the case. The enemies were actually within your relationship, which was you and your partner. You were the two that fucked up. You were the two that ended up hurting each other. You were the two that pulled the trigger on each other, and then now you're both crying like, I can't believe we're not together. I can't believe we're not happy. I can't believe this person moved on. Of course this person moved on, because nobody wants to be sad and single. It's different when you're single and dating versus when you're single and sad. And right now, Scorpio, even though you might be someone who's dating and you might be someone that has a lot of options, you're still thinking about your ex, and your ex is definitely thinking about you, Scorpio. I definitely wish I could say that there's going to be some reunion, but the only way this reunion will happen between you and this ex is if you make the first move. This person will not be the one making the first move. This person's way too hurt. This person's way too angry. This person's way too disappointed in how the relationship ended between you guys. Now, Scorpio, it might be a fleeting feeling. You might be feeling like, oh, this is just for the time being because the summer's coming and I'm gonna have a bunch of girls, a bunch of men. It's fine. But remember what I said, Scorpio. Scorpios tend to be very distrusting of others. But then they wonder why they're alone. Then they wonder why they're in a situation with people that they're not really happy with. And it's because the person that you really did like, you didn't want to be vulnerable with. You didn't want to be transparent with them. Scorpio, remember, if you're interested in reuniting with an ex, it's only going to happen if you make the first move. Another thing that I am seeing for single Scorpios is that you are going to have options this summer. Because when does Scorpio not have options? When does Scorpio really ever stay home on a Saturday night? Never. But Scorpio, again, you're going to be tempted. You're going to be seduced. You're going to be offered a lot of opportunities to date. And I see you taking those opportunities. But unfortunately, if you don't get your past taken care of, meaning if you don't get over what happened, I don't really see this being a successful month for you in love, because you're always going to reminisce about what could have been. That's for Scorpio. Let's talk about married, dating, and in between Scorpios. Let's talk about married, dating, and in between Scorpios. Married, dating, and in between Scorpios. The Death card, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords. Six of Cups, excuse me. Let me bring this here so you guys can see. Scorpios, if you're dating in a relationship or married, again, you're dealing with a breakup. You're dealing with a divorce. I see some of you are coming out of a divorce and getting back into a relationship that's just as trashy, just as empty, just as a nightmare. It is a freaking nightmare. I see Scorpios again reminiscing. You're reminiscing about what could have been. You're reminiscing about things. Whoever's looking at this, whoever's watching this, it's either a Scorpio or cross watcher. Again, I have the Pentacles and the Cup sign. And then your card, Scorpio. Scorpio, this is definitely you. Scorpio, there is an imbalance of how you feel. You don't know whether you're coming or going. You don't know how you're feeling. You don't know whether what the decision that you've made was right. You don't, wow, this is just such a twist. This is such a twist because Scorpio, I can't shake the message off. I really can't. Scorpio, you've been doing a lot of reminiscing about an old relationship, and it doesn't even have to be somebody that you were in a relationship with. It could be somebody that you was really feeling, but unfortunately it never took off. Why? It didn't take off because either you didn't want to give them stability or that person didn't want to give up their freedom. Scorpio, again, it has to be the same message. If you want something to happen, it has to be that you make the first move. This person, this earth sign, they're not making the first move. They're not going to. If you want something to change within your relationship, you need to be the one that makes the first move, Scorpio. Because if not, you're going to be in a constant and consistent cycle of where you're getting into these relationships, you're reminiscing, and then you're ending the relationship. You're reminiscing, you're getting into another relationship, and then you're ending it, and you're reminiscing again. Scorpio, why would you want to live your life like that? Why don't you just pick who you like, regardless of who thinks what? And if you want to have 10, 15, well, no. Let me take that message back. Scorpio, if you're interested in someone specifically, why don't you tell them all the information that you want them to know? Regardless if it's your past, regardless if you're married, regardless, because I see that some married Scorpios are interested in an outsider. And they've been thinking about this outsider a lot. And this outsider has been thinking about them. But unfortunately, they never got a chance to connect because Scorpios, like I said before, even though they might be a very sexual sign, they're very committed, meaning that they don't cheat. If they already have a wife or a husband, that is who they're choosing to be with. Now, do Scorpios step out of relationships? Yeah, some of them. But they have a tendency of, I made my bed, I'm gonna lie in it. And it's like, but you're not happy. You're not happy with what you've done. You're not happy with who you chose. Why don't you tell this person how you feel? Why don't you tell this person that you've been thinking about them and see what the possibility is? Scorpio, I'm also getting that you're going to be tempted. Someone's either tempting your partner to step out or someone's tempting you to step out and you're saying no. You're turning that off. That's another story that I'm getting. And Scorpio, again, I'm seeing that someone is rejecting a love offer, and that person's really hurt. That person's really hurt about what happened. Alright, Scorpio, that concludes your reading for the month of June. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, this is Persephone with the Hermit Tarot. If you have any questions, concerns, go ahead and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Remember to participate in the contest where you can win a very personal reading with me. And I hope you have a very safe and blessed end of June.